Okay. All right. Apparently everything is fine. Allow me to quickly check this out for final confirmation, but it should be okay. Okay. It is. It is okay. So we can start. Cool. So for those that don't know, my name is Hightech. I am with 11 years of experience in this field in the cryptocurrency market and on these live streams. I talk about what just happened today and what I think about it, right? I give you my perspective. So somewhere in between the lines, I explain what is high-tech meme coin and why you might be interested in getting yourself some. So yeah, Jesus is king and let's go. Let's flip the screen and let's see what we can discuss about. So the altcoin market, as you see, is looking slightly better than yesterday. I was expecting that. I was actually letting you know, fear not, because we will recover. It looked a little bit scary at first. We had this descent here, descending price action here, but as you see, we quickly recovered. Now we are seeing a little bit of a sell-off, but yeah, we will recover further and we will go to new all-time highs still this year, of course. Highly likely we'll even go to a vicinity of 150k. That's my guess. Guys, if you have any questions, of course, ask me in the live chat. Today, I managed to finally make Rumble Studio work. Turns out the template got corrupted somehow, because there, if you want to live stream to multiple platforms at once, you must create the template and stuff. And I don't know. Something was wrong with it. I deleted it, created a new one, and apparently things are working now. So yeah. So probably thanks to this will happen here. We've got quite a number of liquidations, I'm guessing. Let me see. Actually, barely woke up. $70 million, billion dollars, my god. $70 million on Bitcoin, 91 on Ethereum. Again, not that much, yeah? To be honest, I was expecting more. I was expecting much more. So yeah. Not that much. Let's take a look how liquidation heat map has changed. This one's giving me curiosity. All right, so more liquidity above the price in the close time frame. In a small context, let's take a look at a wider picture. Yeah, more or less nothing has changed. Remains the same. So biggest changes happened on 24 hours window. There's quite some liquidity beneath, but it's much more spread. This one here is much more concentrated. So yeah, probably we'll ignore this one here. It could be spoofing too. Remember, always when it comes to derivatives and those liquidation heat maps, it's very easy to fall victim to a spoofing, right? Because market makers do put in their long offers, short offers, without any intent of triggering those offers ever, right? So they serve just to influence, let's say, the mainstream, the retail, the average trader to commit mistakes, right? So yeah, quite a few coins are doing something like PHB, for example, HBAR. I have a trade on both of them. Trump is recovering too because it had a little bit of a sell-off, like everything else. Let me show it to you. So yeah, I remain in a trade on it. Yes, here was my entry. Exactly here for those that are watching this live stream in horizontal. Horizontal, no, sorry, vertical mode. Horizontal, you would see it from the beginning. In vertical, you wouldn't. So yeah, that's how it looks as of now. PHB looks like this. And this is also quite a handsome trade, plus 20, almost 25% in profit. So definitely nothing to complain about. What else? And Edge bar. Edge bar is also quite a handsome trade. Yeah, it looks like this, plus 12.4 so far. It was higher, of course. It was above 20, but you know, it sold off slightly. Well, all of those coins, they have a lot of room to run from here, so that is most likely what awaits us. Guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat. Share, like, and subscribe. If you just found this channel for the first time, don't let it escape. It's going to be one of the biggest channel in this space. I'm very sure of it. Why? Because I'm a very stubborn guy. And I will be just running it until it gets there. So yes, more or less good news, right? Good news. Bitcoin is going up. Bitcoin is recovering. Is inspiring alts to do literally the same. S&P 500 opened. It opened at a new all-time high again, right? So which day in a row? This is third day in a row. It opens at a new all-time high, right? It sold off a little bit shortly after, but now it still maintains higher levels than yesterday. So that's absolutely amazing, of course. And that's the effect, nonetheless. But that's the effect of, among other things, of course, of Jerome Powell saying that they will be printing money regardless of where inflation gets, how high it gets. They will be printing anyway. That's what they already decided. So yeah. Take a look at Bitcoin dominance. That one should be breaking down even further today. It started slightly in green. Okay, all right. So so far it's actually continuing with the green. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. So for now it looks like we are having a continuation of this uptrend, but I wouldn't trust it, to be honest, too much. At the end of the day, it could go aggressively the other way around. Yeah. So don't judge the day before the sunset. I think that will be the saying. Yeah, but for now it looks a little bit like it wants to continue this damn uptrend. That's unbelievable. But this move up here could be inspired. Yeah, it's probably inspired. Just what Bitcoin did in last minute. It's probably inspired with this dump here, and that is why it went so green, because it was like, very in between. Like 1 hour ago, it was like a slightly red, slightly green, blinking. It was intermittent blinking. Probably when it recovers to levels from before this mini dump here, probably Bitcoin dominance will come down. Because I'm waiting impatiently for that inverse Adam and Eve to complete. And as you may probably have already noticed, it's taking time. It doesn't rush anywhere, but that's what the crypto market does. This cycle, it's just it has literally zero rush. Aside from Bitcoin, the only one that is rushing is actually Bitcoin. Maybe a handful of other coins, and that's it. It is what it is. Once in a while you will get an environment exactly like this. And your job then is to, keep the sanity in check. Even if you use fully automated crypto trading system, like I do, it still requires quite a lot of patience, unfortunately. Especially if you don't want to gamble away your money, because it's very easy to achieve here. So yeah, the title is This Title Always Wins. Who am I talking about, right? Well, I remember I want to refer to title because otherwise later on probably I will forget and it will look weird. So I was referring to this post on X right here. A smart trader with 100% win rate increases Bitcoin long positions and also opens new 10x long on SOL. 10x long, that's a wide level of leverage. Very, very high grade of leverage. 10x. I mean, you should not be trading on leverage with even with x1, 1x, however you want to say it. So you should be always trading spot only, let alone trade on 10x leverage. I mean, that's crazy. So that guy has plenty of money to win. He's probably one of the accounts of market makers, and they will highly likely use it at some point to chop off some heads. But maybe not just yet. Maybe not just yet. Just in, 2 trillion Japanese payment giant TIS is launching a blockchain-based platform for stablecoins and tokenized assets. Yeah, that thing is growing. As I said yesterday, I'll be very surprised if within 2 years, within 2 years you go into a supermarket and there is no option of paying for your groceries with stablecoins. I think you can literally bet your life on that happening. And it will have its shortcomings, but also great advantages. I think more advantages than disadvantages. So me myself, I'm patiently waiting with the fingers crossed that it will be exactly as I'm predicting here. But probabilities of that happening are really, really elevated. The only said Bitcoin is going to $200,000 in the next 60 days. It's coming. 60 days, that's little time left. Let's get to 150 first. Me, I'm forecasting 150. Anything above that will be a bonus. Traders now expect 3 rate cuts in 2025. 3? Okay. Interesting. On Polymarket, right? What are the probabilities here exactly? 85%. 85%, so that's quite high. Hold a second. Okay, I had to communicate something very quickly. Guys, if you have any questions, ask me in the live chat, of course. I have been in this space for 11 years, quite a long time. So I definitely am able to answer nurturing questions that you have. about, I don't know, about the market, where it's going, what will happen to your beloved bug of altcoins, and so on. Okay, how about the connection? Connection is for now. It looks like it's not that bad. But this one here, okay, frame rate is fine. Even a little bit faster. 52 frame FPS. I don't know why is it that much. It shouldn't be that much. So yeah, let's take a look at others chat, how that one is doing. I should be pushing upwards. Yeah, so it's negating yesterday's red daily candle. So as I was expecting it. I didn't say it out loud, but I was actually expecting it to recover what was lost yesterday. And that is literally what is happening. It could close around these levels. It doesn't really have to go any higher. That would do just fine, to be honest. Just so analysts and algorithms, have the record confirmations. Vinayak says, "Hi, this is Vino. Can you please check Indian stock exchange stocks with your setup?" Well, to be honest, I'm not interested in any other stock exchange different than US. Why? Because the US one is the biggest in the world and it influences the rest of the globe to a great degree. I do not really, whenever I talk about S&P 500, I do not comment on it because I have advice for those that do trade American Stock Exchange. I do it only because, it carries certain amount of weight for the crypto market, right? So me myself, I'm interested only in the crypto market. I trade only through crypto market. Since I started, I think it has slightly different dynamic than the stock market. Is definitely much more volatile. Although recent years, I must admit, for example, American exchange, stock exchange or exchanges have come close. They have come close to the volatility crypto has. Very close. So yeah, so that's why I can give you a tip or two, but regarding cryptos, I'm just telling you to check. Okay, give me a ticker. Give me a ticker and I'll check. To be honest, I don't even remember which one was for Indian Stock Exchange. I don't remember all of the say world stock exchanges. But in case of India, I think it's a little bit simpler than anywhere else because any other currency different than US dollar. US dollar is probably much more inflationary with short periods of having a little bit best performance. But on other hand, in case of stocks of third world countries, we cannot really trust them. You cannot really trust the stock market there because many different things can happen. Even if we are talking about one of the world biggest economies, India definitely belongs to one of the world biggest economies. But the problem is the grade of corruption it has with China, Russia, all together. Like for example, that is why I always say the West does not have to really be afraid of the BRIC countries that much because the leaders are literally the biggest, most corrupted countries in the world, right? And corruption has its very mild face, very friendly face, but not in those countries, unfortunately. Corruption can help for a country to develop, especially if it suffers a very restrictive regime. But it's 50-50. Once it helps, once it is disrupts. Al Cargo Logistics in the stock name. Al Cargo Logistics Limited. Yeah, or this one. Okay, these are exchanges, right? And NSE. So I'm just dying, probably. Let's see on the weekly. Difficult to say. I mean, so far I don't see anything yet. To be honest, that would. Okay, I see one thing. The one thing I see is that it's resting on a support here. That could give it some hope. Maybe it will find a solid ground around this level and will bounce from here, and that's it. But that's nowhere close to a guarantee because, like I said, in countries like India, China, Russia, Brazil, the stock market, it can fool you big time. It can fool you big time because a decision of one person can close the business up, right? I mean down. Sorry, you can just close the business down and that's it. And it will all go to hell, right? So yeah, that's my take. I think, to be honest, I think it's much safer to actually trade on cryptos than on stock exchange or in a country like India, China, or Russia. But let's say the incentive could be the taxation. How much tax you owe if you, for example, trade cryptos. I know in India they charge 30% for capital gain tax, which is outrageous, absolutely outrageous. Super elevated, let's say, a level of taxation. I don't know how it's like in case of the stock market. That could be lower. But yeah, if I lived in India and traded cryptos, I would definitely never say anybody. I would just keep my mouth shut because even if trading stock market is let's say cheaper from capital gain taxations, I mean capital gain tax standpoint, at any given day they can put it on pair with what they tax crypto, right? So it's rather better to immediately start in a space that favorites you from the very beginning than be, let's say, stomp on a very muddy soil, right? That's my opinion. But now it intersects. It starts to intersect, right? Because there's more and more tokenized version of American stocks, at least. I'm not sure how about stocks of other countries, but when it comes to American stocks, yeah, we see more and more of it. We definitely have practically all Magnificent Seven are already tokenized. SPY we have tokenized. MSTR we have tokenized. So you can literally trade those stocks on Solana dexes. For example, here there is Tesla X against USDC on Radium. You can literally trade Tesla on Radium, which is a Solana decentralized exchange. So yeah, if you live in a regime that heavily taxes capital gain, has very, very elevated capital gain tax, go over there. Go over to Radium and trade it there. Keep your mouth shut until you make millions. Okay, when you make millions, then you ask for free forgiveness, and it doesn't matter if they tax you 50% or 70%, what remains is still shitloads of money. But yeah, the most difficult part is to ascend to that level where even a very, very high level of taxation doesn't bother you anymore because the money you earn is 10 times more than you can spend anyway. So in some cultures they call it fake it till you make it. Vinaya says we check higher time frame and then lower time frame. We call it top-down approach. Okay. All right. Yeah, there are different techniques. I mean, higher time frames always give you very late signals, entry and exit signals. They give you greater certainty, but much later, right? Greater hit rate, but way, way later in the move. And when it comes to low time frames, they give you earlier signals, but the certainty is much lower. The hit rate is much lower. So there is no actually any great advantage that it will give you. I think it to let's say rely on two time frames makes it quite complicated from strategizing point of view. I don't know how it works with you guys. Maybe I don't know. Maybe you have a good record. Maybe you have good performance. You know, doing so a good record. But from my experience, it's much better to rely on one time frame and just strategize it well and make it the way that even if the hit rate is very low, it still works. That's how I do it, right? How I chose to do it. So I trade on very low time frames, like 50-minute and hourly, mostly 50-minute. But I strategize it well. I make it the simplest possible. I use all of let's say little tricks that give me increase my advantage. Let's say even if it's by slightest amount, I collect all of those small advantages and I use them in my trading. So yeah, but yeah, I have nothing against anyone doing it the other way because this is a zero-sum game. So the money that you win comes from those that lose this game. So majority loses. That's why the wins get so big once in a while, and it has to remain that way, and it will remain that way, and nothing will change it. Even AI will not change it. Even if everyone uses AI trained for trading, it will still remain the same way. That's the nature of things. So yeah, hit like and subscribe, guys, if you watch it live right now, so you don't lose the channel. And as I said at the beginning, there is a way of investing. Actually, I did not say it with these words, but I said I will explain high-tech meme coin and what it is. And since this is the only project I promote on all of my social media, of course, this YouTube channel included, it translates to kind of my stock market, let's say. So this is the uniqueness, absolute uniqueness of this YouTube channel, that you can literally invest in it through this meme coin at this early stage, right? So the stage right now is very early because this channel counts 111 subscribers, so very, very little. And yeah, it will grow into dozens, if not hundreds of thousands. That much I can literally promise you right here, right now. And that means this market here will grow immensely. So these are the earliest days, just 63 holders so far, close to nothing. So yeah, in my humble opinion, this is the easiest trade on the whole internet as of today. So make use of this opportunity, or just ignore it. But later, zip your mouth, keep your mouth shut, don't complain. Okay, so Bitcoin it keeps pushing up with slight pauses. Every now and then we'll get a 15-minute in red, 15-minute candle in red, but overall, as you see, it pretty much came back to where we were in this price cluster. Not surprising at all. Don't get convinced by anybody to short the crypto market now, because the narrative about the end of the cycle is, it gains track, right? It becomes more and more popular, and that will highly likely not gonna happen. It's very improbable that this is the end of the cycle. Bitcoin narrative has a lot of space for growth. Stablecoin adoption, regulation and adoption that is coming will crash all of the walls in between the altcoin market and average Joe. So it will see very aggressive inflows at some point. And we are not talking about 10 years down the road. No, absolutely not. That will be happening quite fast until a full, let's say, completion within 2 years. Right? Until literally full scale adoption within 2 years. So I think right now it is very risky to be ignorant of the altcoin market. So yeah, share, like, and subscribe, guys. Don't forget about that part of watching, of participating in the live stream. Okay, in the meantime, let's see what else we get here. And I almost forgot. If you are interested in getting yourself a little bit of high tech, you will find a link to a tutorial. I made like a simple tutorial, and you will find the link to it in the description section of this live stream, right? It's very, very simple how to acquire this one. But I always advise you guys to throw at it small amounts of money. Why? Because in such early stage of development, that gives you a huge asymmetry of a trade. You stay very, very safe, because even if you lose small amount of money, like one or $2 or $3, nothing really happens. And if it works out, then just like with Bitcoin, maybe you'll buy a house. And me myself, I'm absolutely convinced it's going to work out. But you cannot be sure, so that is why, bet something small so you remain safe, and eventually you get hugely surprised, right? Within, I don't know, 2 or 3 years. So yeah, if you have any questions, guys, let me know in the live chat. Yesterday, actually it was today. In my time frame, it was not time frame, time zone. I don't know why I say time frame instead of time zone. In my time zone, it was today very early morning. The let's say the visibility of the live stream was absolutely great. I collected like over 150 views, and let's see how it's going to be like now. So far only 31, so it's much worse. It's not nothing. It's not nothing. At least there was some, let's say, activity in the live. That always makes me happy whenever there is interaction. It makes it much more easier to create this type of content. The most difficult part is to keep talking, and keep it somewhat interesting when nobody is there. That's the most difficult. That's a second. I have to charge my phone, but the cable was disconnected. Okay. All right, now it's charging. Start your journey in simulated trading with FTMO, backed by 10 years of experience. Yeah, that's not a good idea, to be honest. It's much better to start to trade with some very minuscule amount of money. So something very, very small, like small change, and then look how it goes, because those simulators oftentimes they display you results that are not realistic. So you're encouraged to try it out on the real exchange, and then on the real exchange you find out your performance is nowhere near where the simulation was showing you, right? So that is why it's much better to do it simply with small change on real exchange, but with small change that will not impact your standard of life. Katie Wood forecasts a $25 trillion Bitcoin and crypto market by 2030. This market survives until 2030 in whatever shape will make me happy. If this market survives. 5 years is okay. 4 years by now, like slightly over 4 years. Many things can happen in 4 years. I think it will be in existence in 2030. I'm highly convinced it will, but yeah, 4 years is a long time. Check out Borgisol, the Swiss-made meme coin, taking Solana by storm. And I will dump it anyway. The only meme coin that will prevail and will grow and grow and grow and will offer more and more and more that I know of is the one that I propose here, because I know what sort of plans I have in relation to this coin. And this is a lifetime project, so to speak, an influencer in the package. I'm attached to it. So unlike any other meme coin on the scene, right? Which was issued by some completely unknown people that you cannot talk to, you cannot write with. With me, you can talk to every single day, because I do live stream here on this YouTube channel. I even live stream twice a day. Somebody has written something in Korean, and I have no idea what that is, to be honest. And there is no way of translating it. So yeah, I don't even know how to read your name. So be so kind and write that in English, so we all know what the hell you just asked about. Because I think there is a question mark at the end of the sentence. So looks like this is a question. Massive move. JP Morgan is about to accept Bitcoin and Ethereum as collateral. Okay, this quote unquote news we are observing since like the the beginning of last week, I think, more or less. So that's nothing new. Fed Chair Jerome Powell calls Bitcoin a digital gold. Yeah, that's an old interview. Deal Book Summit. Tommy says Bitcoin has become a $2 trillion asset. Never in financial history has anything reached 2 trillion and disappeared. Ignore it at your own risk. Maybe not disappeared, but tulip bubble, for example, outrageous proportions, and then came down to almost zero. So it did not go to literally to zero, but kind of compares. And I'm not saying Bitcoin will result in a tulip bubble. I don't think that is the case, but the value trajectory of Bitcoin is zero over time. It will lose all of its value over time. How fast we'll see. It can take 5 years, 10 years, 50 years. Breaking. Circle begins testing its new ARC blockchain with major institutions already on board. This could be a game changer for USDC and enterprise adoption. Big names are getting involved early. Yeah, the thing I'm calling your attention to, stablecoin adoption is moving fast, is progressing, and that's a good thing for the crypto market. Just in publicly traded healthcare company Prenetics Pre is raising $48 million through equity offering to buy more Bitcoin. Yeah, so another company wanting to join to the circle of those that exercise Bitcoin reserve. And like I said, there is still a lot of room for that narrative. I mean, worldwide, not only in the United States. In the United States alone, it should make you think. And considering, how much bigger the world stage is, that should make you think even more. November is loading. Yeah, it looks like November is going to be a good month. At least first part. We'll see how about second part when it arrives, but I think first part of November should be very, very positive. Guys, share, like, and subscribe. Don't forget about subscribing to the channel. It's always very disappointing when I do a live stream and there is not even one new subscriber. Remember, I live stream like this every single day, so that's an added value here. Whatever happens, I will be making a live stream. I will briefly discuss what I see in the chart, what I think about it. It's not like I get things right all the time, absolutely not. Sometimes I get it wrong, but at least I give you my reasoning for why I think we should go down or up from here. And of course, we will check my X timeline, make a small review here and there of this post and that post, and maybe someone will say something interesting, will add something to discussion. So kind of creating it together here. This way, it's not unscripted. I never prepare for these live streams. I just turn it on and just go with the flow. And in the meantime, of course, everyone is free to invest in this YouTube channel through indirectly, of course, through my meme coin, right? As you see, this is the only project I promote here, and it will stay that way. So whatever, let's say, business offer I get, it will have to pass through this market here, right? So if somebody asks me to mention about their business or something, I'll tell them, listen, you can buy up this coin here, burn it, and then I will say that such and such company or service provider has bought this meme coin and burned it, and that's the way you gain exposure on my social media, right? And of course, depending on the amount, people like it more or people like it less, right? If you do it with $10, then probably they will not be treating you serious. If you do it with 10,000 bucks, then probably they will at least look it up and check who the hell are you, right? So that's let's say the relation I'm proposing here on various sides. Binance founder CZ says he feels sorry for people who sold Bitcoin at 77,000. Yeah, right now you can feel sorry for those guys, but you never know. Are we going to see those prices again or not? We can't be really sure because the volatility will not go away from this market for quite a time. Quite a time to go. I mean, it did not go walk away from Magnificent Seven. I mean, right now Bitcoin, in terms of capitalization, is actually on par with those biggest, let's say, companies in the world. So they always remain that negative volatility. So Bitcoin, of course, as well will remain that negative volatility. So it will still have big crashes. Don't doubt that. White House says crypto and blockchain can revolutionize America's financial system. And yeah, and it will. It will. And, it's in heavy works to do exactly that. Satoshi Era Whale just bought $357 million of Bitcoin. He knows something. Yeah, that's very interesting, right? Whenever you see someone who has a stash of Bitcoin from that time and they are adding up, that's something. That's something to see. Market Saylor featured on the cover of Forbes as the Bitcoin alchemist. When was that? That's not from this year, I think. Blade. Big week ahead. Monday, QT officially ends. It actually already officially ended. FOMC rate cut announcement. Fed prints 1.5 trillion on Wednesday. Thursday, US-China trade deal expected. Friday, S&P 500 earnings release. Saturday, tariff deadline approaches. Expect huge volatility. Yeah. I mean, at every single of those meetings, let's say, or events, plus minus 1 hour, yeah, there will be volatility. But remember, overall events, they do not make rallies, they do not make bull markets, they do not make bear markets. The only two things that really make those are oversold state of the market and overbought state of the market. Only these two. And I call it high saturation point or high under saturation point. And only these two states make a difference, nothing else. Events themselves, they cause only short-term volatility. That's it. Altcoins are forming a cup of distraction. Altcoins are forming a multi-year cup and handle structure, textbook momentum brewing. Retest health, losing control. This is not the time to look away. It's the prelude to a vertical liftoff. I agree. Even though from this chart perspective, I mean, this chart, because this is what is total market cap. It's heavily distorted. I don't believe it really shows how this market looks right now. Very accurately, probably not. But it will go higher, much higher. The capitalization of the altcoin market will grow aggressively. So yeah. But so far, not much of big news, at least of yet. We'll see how it's going to change later today, because I will at least try to live stream later today. So my attempt is to live stream twice a day until I get this channel 1,000 subscribers. So there's still quite a lot of work to do. Because above 1,000, YouTube gives much more visibility to the channel, so I'll not have to live stream twice a day anymore. But yeah, that's the message to you. That I will still make a second one few hours from now. France is making plans to buy 420,000 Bitcoin and create a national Bitcoin reserve. Okay. Is it a rumor or has it been said somewhere by French officials? 420,000 Bitcoins, that's quite a hefty amount. Interesting. And we cannot ask Grok because there is no Grok circle here. Okay, whatever. All right, guys, allow me to wrap it up for now. Share, like, and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be back in few hours. So that's why it's especially important for you to subscribe, so you get notification and you can join me. And of course, consider getting yourself a little bit of high tech, the meme coin I promote here. The only project I promote here, and it will stay that way. Hence, this is an indirect stock market of this YouTube channel. And my alternative YouTube channels too. I mean, I have one more YouTube channel which I run in my mother tongue, and that one is 10 times larger than this one. And this is also the only project I promote, because this is literally the only project I promote everywhere on all of my social media. You will not catch me shilling any other coin. So yeah, and this is a very early stage of its existence. Well, one of the earliest, just I don't know, it has been 6 months for now, right? Yeah, I think around 6 months, 7 months maybe. Just 63 holders, so nearly nothing. It's like Bitcoin in 2010, 2011. So here is your opportunity.